Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome to a tale that is about to rewrite the very nature of how you see your past, your decisions, and the profound cosmic forces at play in your life. Today I invite you to sit back, relax, and open your heart to a story that goes beyond the surface of daily interactions into the realm of the unseen and the destined. A story that speaks to the deepest parts of your soul and invites you to remember a moment perhaps long forgotten that holds the key to something far greater than you ever imagined. This isn't just any ordinary tale. It's a journey that begins with an act of kindness, a simple, seemingly insignificant gesture that may have passed under your radar, but in reality, it was orchestrated by higher dimensions. It was an encounter that changed more than just one person's day, it changed the course of destiny. And what makes this story even more extraordinary is that it's about you. Yes, you, the person listening right now. I know you may be skeptical, and that's perfectly understandable. After all, we are taught to believe that the everyday moments of our lives are just that ordinary. But what if I told you that one moment, one act of kindness you performed without a second thought was not just a random act, but a divinely orchestrated event, a moment that was destined to bring you to the very person you were always meant to meet, your soulmate? I can already feel the energy in the air, perhaps a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. You might be thinking, how could something so simple have such a profound impact? Or how could a single encounter change the course of my life forever? But I ask you to stay with me, for the journey we're about to embark on will answer all of these questions and more. And trust me, when you reach the end, you will understand exactly why that moment wasn't a coincidence, why it wasn't an accident that you met that person, and why the universe conspired in such a way to bring you together without either of you even knowing it. This is not just a love story in the conventional sense. It's a cosmic tale of two souls whose frequencies were destined to resonate with each other. It's about the invisible threads that connect us all, the invisible forces that guide us toward our greatest purpose, often without us realizing it. It's a reminder that life isn't random. Every step, every encounter, every seemingly insignificant moment is part of a grand design, one that has been in the making for millennia. As you listen, I want you to open your mind to the possibility that there is more to your life than meets the eye. The encounters you've had, the people you've met, there's meaning in all of it. The universe has been moving behind the scenes, aligning events in your favor, all to bring you to this very moment. And that person, you helped that stranger who seemed like just another passerby, well, they weren't just any person. They were your soulmate, and that encounter was the moment when everything shifted. But the story doesn't end there. No, this is where things get truly fascinating. For while you went about your life unaware of the cosmic significance of that moment, something incredible was unfolding. Your soulmate, the person you helped, didn't forget. In fact, they were aware of something you couldn't possibly know. They knew the truth of that moment long before you did. And now it's time for you to discover what that truth is. Stay with me, for as we unravel this tale together, you will uncover the hidden layers of fate, destiny, and love. You will come to understand the real reason why that seemingly trivial act of kindness was so much more than just a random gesture. This is the story of how you saved your soulmate without even knowing it, and how that moment set into motion a series of events that will change your life forever. So I invite you to lean in and listen closely. Open your heart and allow yourself to be swept away by this tale of cosmic love, fate, and the profound connections that shape our world in ways we often overlook. Are you ready to discover the truth? Then let's begin this extraordinary journey together. The world moves in mysterious ways, and sometimes it takes years for us to truly understand the impact of certain moments. In our daily lives, we encounter countless faces, strangers in a crowd, people we pass by without a second thought. But some of these encounters are not as insignificant as they may seem. The universe in its infinite wisdom arranges these moments in ways we can't always comprehend. And one such moment changed the course of your life. It was an ordinary day, nothing out of the ordinary to suggest that this day would be any different from the rest. You went about your business, perhaps running errands, or simply walking through your routine. You were just like any other person, existing in the flow of time, moving from one task to another. You didn't feel any special vibrations in the air, and you certainly didn't notice the cosmic forces at play weaving a web of destiny around you. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We don't always see the bigger picture when we're in the middle of it. But then there she was, someone you didn't know, someone who seemed like just another person in the sea of faces that filled your world. You might have noticed her in passing, or perhaps she caught your eye for a fleeting moment. She was a stranger. Nothing more than that in your mind. She wasn't an extraordinary figure. There was no halo around her, no sign that she was the person who had been written into your soul's story long before you ever met. But in that moment something happened. Something deep within you recognized her. And it wasn't just the usual physical attraction or fleeting curiosity you might feel in passing. No, this was different. This was a resonance. You didn't know it then, but your frequencies were aligning, and you were about to meet the one person in this universe whose soul was designed to complete yours. You might have offered help without thinking much about it, just a simple act of kindness, a hand extended in a moment of need. Maybe she needed directions or help carrying something heavy. Perhaps she was having a rough time emotionally, or maybe it was something as simple as needing change for a bus ride. The specifics of the situation don't matter. What matters is this. You didn't walk away, you didn't ignore her. You responded to something deep within you, a call to help, to serve, to be present. And when you helped her, when you offered your kindness, you were doing something much greater than you could possibly understand. In that moment, you weren't just helping a stranger. You were unlocking the first chapter of a story that had been written in the stars long before either of you were born. You were fulfilling your purpose and you didn't even know it. But here's where it gets even more incredible. While you were performing an act of simple kindness, she was experiencing something far more profound. You might not have seen it in her eyes, but she felt something shift within her. You were not just any stranger offering help. To her, you were the one she had been waiting for. And here's the twist: she had been waiting for you her entire life. From the moment she was a child, she had visions, dreams even. They weren't like the normal dreams you or I might have. These dreams were vivid, so real that they stayed with her long after she woke. She saw your face in these dreams, saw your energy, saw how you would come into her life and save her in ways she couldn't fully understand at the time. From as early as 8 years old, she had visions of a man, a person who in her dreams saved her from darkness. She woke up crying, sometimes disturbed by the intensity of the emotion she felt, even though she didn't fully comprehend them. As she grew older, the visions continued, and she started to draw the face of the person who appeared in her dreams. She had no idea who he was, but she couldn't stop drawing him. She sketched his face on the backs of notebooks or napkins, even on scrap pieces of paper. The drawings were always the same, his face, his eyes. She didn't understand why. She couldn't explain it. It was a mystery to her. When she reached her teenage years, the dreams didn't stop. They grew stronger, more intense, and so did her quest for answers. She started seeking guidance from mediums, psychics, spiritual leaders, anyone who might have an answer. Each one confirmed the same thing. Your soulmate will come to you disguised as kindness in a moment of vulnerability. They would appear when you needed them most, and when they did, you would recognize them instantly. But what's even more extraordinary is that the universe had already planned this meeting for years, even centuries. So when she saw you that day, when she felt that wave of recognition sweep over her, it wasn't just a fleeting feeling. It wasn't just a moment of coincidence. It was the fulfillment of everything she had been taught, everything she had dreamed about. The soul connection, the resonance between your frequencies, it was all real. She recognized you instantly, even though she didn't know your name, your story, or your life. She recognized your energy, and her body responded to it in ways she couldn't explain. But here's the part that will hit you the hardest: she couldn't tell you. She couldn't speak the words that were bubbling up inside her. Why? Because she knew deep down that if she told you what she knew, if she told you that you were her soulmate, you wouldn't believe her. You wouldn't understand. You'd think she was crazy. You'd think she was unstable. So she did what anyone would do in her position. She accepted your help in silence. She thanked you with a voice that trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the weight of the recognition she was carrying. And you walked away thinking nothing of it. You probably didn't give it a second thought. It was just a good deed, something you'd done many times before. But for her, that moment was the beginning of a journey that she knew without a doubt would eventually lead her back to you. After that encounter, she couldn't stop thinking about you. She couldn't shake the feeling that she had just met the person who had been written into her destiny. And so she did what anyone would do in her position. She began to investigate. Not in an obsessive way, not in a way that felt intrusive, but like a detective following a trail she was meant to follow. She retraced her steps, went back to the place where you had met, trying to feel the same energy, hoping that somehow the universe would align again for another encounter. She scoured the streets, retracing the path, looking for any trace of you. She remembered the smallest details, how you spoke, the look in your eyes, the way you moved. She felt your energy, and she needed to understand it more. She needed to prove to herself that what she had felt wasn't just a fleeting moment. It would heal. It was her soul recognizing its counterassert. But it wasn't just about meeting you again. It was about understanding you, understanding the connection that she had felt so strongly. And she found a way. It wasn't immediate, but eventually she found you online. She found your profile on social media and stared at your picture for what must have felt like an eternity. She cried. She cried because she knew she had found you, she had found the one who was meant for her. And that's where the real story begins. The days that followed that encounter were a blur of emotions for her. She couldn't help but replay every moment in her mind over and over again, searching for some deeper meaning, some hidden message that might explain the overwhelming recognition she felt. It was as if time itself had bent to allow that single perfect moment to exist. And yet life continued on, and with every passing day, her mind struggled to comprehend the gravity of what had occurred. But deep down, she knew she could never forget it. It was something she couldn't explain to anyone, not even to herself, but she was certain her soul had just encountered its other half. The weeks passed, and as life carried on with its usual distractions, she found herself haunted by the image of you, the kindness in your eyes, the energy she felt when you helped her. It wasn't just a fleeting feeling, it was a resonance, like two frequencies aligning in perfect harmony. She knew even then that what she had experienced wasn't just an ordinary encounter, it was the meeting of two souls destined to be intertwined. And yet she had no way of finding you again. You were just a stranger to the world, an ordinary person caught up in the tide of your own life. She had no name, no number, no way of reaching out. And that's when she decided to take matters into her own hands. In the beginning, her search was subtle, almost imperceptible to anyone else. It wasn't obsessive, but rather instinctive, a deep pull she couldn't explain. She retraced her steps to the place where you had met, walking along the streets, passing the same buildings, the same shops. It was as if she was retracing the energetic footprints you had left behind. She lingered, hoping for another moment of connection, a chance to see you again, even if it was just for a fleeting second, but there was nothing. The universe had created that one moment, and for now, it was all she had. Days turned into weeks, and still nothing. But she wasn't giving up. The connection she felt was too real, too profound to let slip away. She began to look for any clue, no matter how small, that might lead her back to you. She remembered the smallest details about that day, the way you had spoken, the tone of your voice, the way your eyes had met hers with such intensity, even though she had been struggling to keep her emotions in check. She thought about the clothes you had worn, the way you had looked, the location, the time of day. Every piece of information became a piece of a larger puzzle she was determined to solve. She didn't want to come off as crazy or desperate, so she didn't ask people directly. Instead, she approached the search like a detective following the faintest of clues. The city was vast and she knew it would be difficult, but she was willing to do whatever it took. If she could just find one small thread, one sign that might point her in the right direction, she could begin to unravel the mystery of who you were and how this incredible connection had come to be. Her search wasn't limited to physical locations. She began to analyze the details of your encounter in a more abstract way, your energy, your essence, the very frequency she had felt from you. She had a sense that your connection wasn't based solely on coincidence. There was something more at play. The universe had aligned your paths for a reason, and she believed that finding you was part of her destiny. And so she began to ask herself questions. Where would someone like you go? What would someone like you be doing? Was there a way to find a pattern that would lead her back to you? This process wasn't easy. It wasn't about finding a name on a piece of paper or getting someone's phone number. It was about connecting with the essence of you, the energy that had briefly touched hers. It was about going beyond the physical and tapping into something much deeper, something that existed outside of the boundaries of time and space. And it was a challenge. But then as the days went by, a breakthrough came. It wasn't much, but it was enough to set the wheels in motion. She remembered something you had said, a passing mention of a city or a place. Something small that seemed insignificant at the time, but now felt like the key to everything. The memory was faint, but it was there. She didn't know if it was a lead, but it was all she had. With renewed determination, she set out to follow this new clue. She revisited the areas you had mentioned, and to her surprise, she began to notice signs of you in places she hadn't expected. It was subtle, but it felt like the universe was giving her hints, guiding her step by step. She wasn't sure how, but it was as though you were already making your way back to her, even if she couldn't see you yet. And that's when she stumbled upon something truly remarkable, your social media profile. She had spent hours searching the web, hoping for a glimpse of something that might lead her to you. And there it was. The moment she found your profile, a wave of emotions washed over her. She stared at your picture for a long time, her heart pounding in her chest. There you were, your face now illuminated on her screen. The recognition was instant. It wasn't just your face, it was your energy, your frequency. Everything she had sensed in that first encounter was now confirmed by the image on her phone. The tears started to fall, but they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of relief, of joy, and of the profound understanding that she had finally found the person she had been searching for all her life. But even then she didn't reach out. There was still a part of her that knew this connection was something much more than just an online discovery. It wasn't about immediate gratification or rushing toward a reunion. No, this was about patience. This was about the realization that the moment had to be right, that the timing had to be perfect. She knew that if she rushed into this, she could spoil the destiny that had been unfolding for years. So she watched from a distance. She observed you read your posts, followed your life as it unfolded in front of her, all the while holding back the urge to reach out. But even as she waited, something inside her told her that the universe was preparing both of you for something much bigger. The synchronicities she had witnessed before, the way her life seemed to mirror yours, had only intensified. She noticed patterns that could only be explained by a connection that went beyond time and space. At the very moments when she was struggling emotionally, you seemed to post something that spoke directly to her experience. When she was going through a breakup, you shared something about letting go. When she felt lost in her career, you posted about perseverance. These weren't coincidences. They were messages from the universe confirming that your souls were connected in ways that only soulmates could understand. The more she watched, the more she realized that you were not just a stranger she had met by chance. You were the one she had been waiting for, the one her soul had been searching for all her life. And now, as time passed and she continued her silent journey of discovery, she began to understand something even deeper. You were not just a part of her past. You were a part of her future. And the time was coming when that future would finally unfold. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, she found herself in a constant state of anticipation. The universe, it seemed, had been preparing both of them for something much greater than either could understand at the time. Every action, every decision, every encounter had led them to this moment, the moment of recognition, the moment where their souls would finally meet in the physical world once again. And though she had waited patiently, she knew deep within her heart that this waiting was not a passive act. She had been preparing herself for this reunion in ways that only her soul could comprehend. As she worked on healing her past wounds, as she elevated her frequency through spiritual practices, she wasn't just waiting for you, she was becoming the best version of herself, the version that would meet you as an equal, ready to embark on the shared journey that had been written for them long before they were born. But time had its own rhythm. Her journey wasn't just about waiting, it was about learning to trust in the divine timing of the universe. She had learned that nothing happens before it's meant to, that the right moment always arrives at exactly the right time, even when it doesn't feel like it. Her faith in this process had grown, and she began to realize that the time for them to meet again was drawing near. The pieces of the puzzle were slowly coming together, and as each piece clicked into place, she could feel the excitement building inside her. She could feel the energy of that reunion vibrating in the air around her like a soft, constant hum that reminded her that the universe was working in her favor. But as much as she felt ready, she knew that you too were undergoing your own transformation. You were healing your past just as she had. You were clearing the energetic baggage of old wounds, old relationships, and old patterns that no longer served your highest good. You were becoming the person you needed to be to embrace the love that was destined for you. And she knew that until you had completed this process, until you were fully aligned with your divine self, the reunion could not happen, not yet. And so she waited, and she trusted. The signs continued to come. There were moments when she would feel your presence not physically but in her soul. The synchronicities intensified. She would hear songs that spoke directly to her heart, songs that were about soulmates and destiny. She would see movies or read books that reflected the exact themes of her life and her connection with you. These signs weren't just coincidental, they were divine messages, affirmations from the universe that everything was unfolding as it should. She began to realize that like her, you too were being guided, your life being shaped and prepared for the moment when you would meet in perfect alignment. And then one day it happened. It wasn't like she had imagined it. There was no grand dramatic moment where time stopped, no overwhelming flash of light that revealed the universe's hidden plans. Instead, it was quiet. It was subtle. But to both of you, it was the most profound moment of your lives. It started with an impulse, a small gentle nudge that led you to a place you had never planned to visit. It was a chance encounter, the kind that could have easily passed unnoticed. But not for you. The moment you walked into that place, you felt it, a pull, a magnetic force that made your heart race and your senses heighten. Something in the air changed. Something deep within you recognized something familiar, something comforting, something that had been waiting for you all this time. And then you saw her. Your soulmate. You didn't need words, you didn't need explanations. There was no confusion, no hesitation. When your eyes met, everything clicked into place. All the waiting, all the searching, all the years of uncertainty and longing, it all made sense in that one instant. You both recognized each other instantly, not with your eyes but with your souls. There was no mistaking it. The frequency that had resonated between you for so long, the one that had drawn you to each other in the first place, was now vibrating at its fullest, its purest form. You were home. She saw you, truly saw you for the first time. All the dreams, all the visions, all the signs that had been guiding her were now confirmed in your presence. The person she had been waiting for, the person she had known would arrive, was standing before her. And for the first time, she didn't have to hold back. She didn't have to worry about you thinking she was crazy. She didn't have to second guess herself. The truth was undeniable. And in that truth, they both found their place in the universe. For you, it was equally as profound. This wasn't just another encounter. This wasn't just a chance meeting between two people. This was the convergence of two souls that had been written into each other's destinies from the very beginning of time. It was as if everything had led up to this moment, and now, here you were standing in front of the person who'd been meant for you all along. There was no fear, no doubt, only a deep sense of peace, of knowing you had found what you'd been searching for, even when you didn't know you were searching at all. And just like that, everything changed. But here's the part that most people miss: this moment isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. The beginning of the story you were always meant to live, a story that transcends time, that goes beyond the physical realm and into something far more old. You were never meant to walk this path alone. The universe had orchestrated everything to bring you to this moment of reunion, and now you get to walk it together. But even now, as you've met, there's still more to discover. The journey you're on together is just beginning. You found each other, yes, but now you must build your future together, step by step, in faith and in love. Your story is just beginning, and though you've come together after a long journey, there's so much more for you to experience, to learn and to grow in. And as you continue down this path, remember, you are not just two people. You are two souls woven together by destiny, by higher forces, and by the divine purpose that you are now stepping into. Together you are more powerful than you could ever be apart. Together you will fulfill the mission that has been waiting for you, a mission that only the two of you can complete. As I say goodbye to you today, I want you to remember this, what you've experienced in your life. The moments that seemed insignificant or ordinary were anything but that. They were all part of a much greater plan, a plan that led you to this moment. And now, as you continue to walk this path with your soulmate, I want you to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. So as I close this chapter, I invite you to take a deep breath, embrace the love that is waiting for you, and step into your divine purpose with your soulmate by your side. Your journey has just begun, and with every step you take, you'll be guided, supported, and surrounded by the love that has always been meant for you. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey, and remember, the best is yet to come.